So finally, a new Witcher game has been confirmed by CD Projekt Red, and it's going to be built on the Unreal Engine 5, which is incredible news. But all we have so far is a press release and a picture of a Witcher school medallion that represents a school that doesn't exist in the lore yet. And I'm going to be going through that specifically in depth today in this video. But first, I want to let you guys know that while this is a new Witcher game, it will definitely not be The Witcher 4. As in, Geralt's story has come to an end in terms of us playing him as the main character, and there are several reasons for this. Firstly, CDPR confirms on their own website that the Witcher series of video games is currently in development with Unreal Engine 5, kicking off a new saga for the franchise and a new technology in partnership with Epic Games. It specifically says that they're kicking off a new saga for the franchise, meaning that they are going to have a new series of Witcher games that tells their own story. And before anyone jumps to conclusions on the partnership with Epic Games using Unreal Engine 5, Radek, the global PR director at CD Projekt Red, has clarified on Twitter that they have not announced a game called The Witcher 4 or a game exclusive to one storefront. And by that he means just because they're using Unreal Engine 5 doesn't mean that this will be a Epic Game exclusive. In fact, CDPR has their own storefront through GOG, and it would be a very strange business decision to make the game exclusive to Epic Games. Secondly, this is not The Witcher 4, it's a new saga based in the Witcher universe. So what does that mean exactly? Well, right now we only have our knowledge of CDPR as a company and this picture of a Witcher medallion that they've provided us. Now, if you didn't know, Witchers are separated into different schools that train and equip Witchers. Each school differs in mindset and training, but all produce professional monster hunters, or Witchers. Witcher schools have fallen and risen over the ages, and new ones can be created. So the question is, what Witcher school does this medallion represent? Once we know that, we can start to figure out where the storyline might be going. Well, the first thing you need to know is that the Witcher books, which both the games and the Netflix series is based on. So many people don't seem to know that, by the way. Well, the Witcher books only have 3 Witcher schools. The Wolf School, the Cat School, and the Griffin School. The Griffin School was like the original Witcher school. But those are the only 3 canon Witcher schools in the books. No other Witcher schools are mentioned. In theory, they could exist, but they're not mentioned in the books. And I mean, the Cat Witcher school is only very briefly mentioned, though it is very interesting. And that brings me on to the Witcher games, which are created by CD Projekt Red. They take more creative freedom in creating another 5 Witcher schools, being the Viper, the Bear, the Manticore, and the Crane Witcher school. So in total, there are 7 Witcher schools in existence that we know of. Bear with me, it'll make sense in a moment. So back to the medallion in question. The snow is specifically covering the sides of the medallion, very intentional by design. And we all know Geralt carries the Wolf medallion since he is from the Wolf Witcher school. Now before we jump to conclusions, I actually came across this Reddit thread that suggests this could be an update to the Witcher school medallion. I do disagree with this, but I must admit the similarities are reasonably close. But with the bearded jawline, the snout being stubbier than that of a wolf, and especially the long pointed ears, there are too many features about what we can see on this medallion that just make it too dissimilar from the Wolf Witcher School medallion. I mean, if you look at a wolf, you can see the ears are a lot more rounded, the snout is a lot longer, and it has a sort of fluffy mane, though the Witcher medallion does exaggerate the mane. So, it's definitely not a wolf medallion. Also, considering this isn't The Witcher 4, and it's going to be a new saga, a new storyline, it's probably going to be detached from the Wolf School specifically, though the origins may be connected. Some people have suggested that this is a Cat School medallion, and this means we'll be playing as Ciri. Now, this is actually what the cat skull medallion looks like in The Witcher 3. It's kind of like a hissing, I have a pet cat. It's a hissing cat with its ears kind of fixed backwards, like when it's in fight mode, and its eyes are narrowed and its mouth is snarling, ready to attack. It really looks nothing like this medallion that's depicted in the picture, so it is most definitely not the cat skull. Also, I personally highly doubt that we'd be playing as Ciri. I love her to bits as a character. I think she's incredibly well written, but I feel like she's way too powerful in the lore of the Witcher series to play as. I also think that this new series of Witcher games is going to be far more detached from the series of characters like Yen and Triss. I think we'll actually be creating our own Witcher character, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But this definitely isn't the cat skull medallion, though we still might see some of these characters in this new Witcher game. So a lot of people have pointed out that this medallion looks like a lynx, and there's no doubt about it. It really does. However, no official school of the Lynx exists in the Witcher books or games. There is a fan theory site that talks about the school of the Lynx, but it's written by fans as a theory of how a new Witcher school was made, combining both the cat school and the wolf school to create the school of the Lynx, which is what we see in this medallion. Just for argument's sake, it is undoubtedly a lynx. They have such iconic ears. Huge forward-facing ears for hunting with a wispy sort of hair at the top of it. No other animal has such iconic ears as a lynx. We can also see, compared to a wolf, it has a bit more of a stubby sort of snout to its nose. And if you look closely, you can see the actual nose and sort of cat-like mouth that it has, as well as whiskers underneath the glowing eyes. So it is definitely a cat-like creature, there's no doubt about that. And then you just add the ears of a lynx, and also the sort of bearded mane that the medallion accentuates here as well. And very interestingly, a lynx is a halfway point between a wolf and a cat, so it's almost like Geralt and Ciri in that sense, and a combination, creating the new Witcher Lynx school. So I agree, the medallion does look like a lynx, but currently in the lore, the Lynx Witcher school does not exist. So there's clearly going to be a story of how this new Witcher school is formed. And what's absolutely incredible to me is clearly CD Projekt Red has been somewhat inspired by this fan theory site in at least combining the wolf and cat school into the Lynx school. But I am very doubtful that the story written on the wiki as to how the Lynx school would have formed is actually going to be the official story. And I think CDPR will probably definitely end up writing their own version, since we now know, based on this theory at least, that this new Witcher saga is going to be based after Geralt's Witcher games, as in Witcher 1, 2 and 3, as far as the timeline is concerned. So the question really is when is the Lynx school going to be created in the timeline, why and by who? And how are they going to make new Witchers? I will say, from a current Witcher lore perspective though, it is assumed, as far as Geralt and the gang are concerned, that there are no more witches or any means to make any. But it is based on what we know as playing as Geralt, the main protagonist. Other witches could definitely exist that we're just not aware of on other continents. It doesn't seem impossible. For example, the Salamandra organization attacked Kaer Morhen in the first game, and they stole the secret of mutagens used to create more witches. And while the organization was later destroyed, the secrets were carried onwards by its members. And there's been lots of plots to create other witches that have been thwarted in the past. I feel like creating new witches is a possibility, but maybe just not how we know it. And I feel like that could definitely be explained in the lore of the Witcher series. But I do foresee with this new Witcher school and this new beginning to a new franchise, a new series of Witcher games, that I really wouldn't be surprised following the release of Cyberpunk 2077 that we end up being able to even choose a Witcher school at the start of the game, kind of like a backstory from Cyberpunk, or at least getting to create our own character within the Witcher universe. In fact, several years ago when I was digging through some really old Witcher interviews, I found one that talked about the very first game, and it originally, when it was in the planning stages, they had intended that you'd create your own character and you'd play the game as your very own Witcher. But they scrapped that idea for following Geralt's story instead, but that was very late into the planning stages. So there has been a narrative at one point, and we saw that style from CDPR with Cyberpunk 2077 when you played as V, a male or female protagonist that you created as the player and went on an epic journey. However, I will say my one concern is I love Cyberpunk. I thought it was a great game beyond the bugs and the difficult launch, but I personally felt like I was just following Johnny Silverhand's story for the main quest line, and some of the time I felt like a bystander to those events, whereas with The Witcher and Geralt, I felt like Geralt was a grounded character in this written universe created from a series of books that gave it a very strong standing as a storyline. That CDPR really made me feel like I was a part of. But hey, I'm really excited to see where CDPR take the Witcher series next. Let me know your speculation and thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe for the next video.